What is going on, Nav Nation, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be discussing the question of whether it is still worth it to invest in Pokemon card collections. Now, this question was actually brought to me by our good buddy James Carson of Z&G Emporium. He actually brought this to the last roundtable discussion that we had, and I thought it was a really good topic to discuss and one that I wanted to go into a little more detail today beyond just what we had discussed about it in the last roundtable. So for today's purposes, we're going to discuss the benefits of investing in Pokemon card collections, some of the drawbacks that have really occurred over the last few years of investing in collections, especially over 2020. And then finally, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys my opinion on opportunities that I still think exist for investing in full Pokemon card collections. And beyond our discussion today, at the end of today's video, I am also going to be announcing the winner of the 10,000 subscriber giveaway, the first of 3 winners. So you're going to want to stick around until the end to see if you were actually the winner of that giveaway. And then I will also announce the next giveaway prize for next week and how you can get in on that giveaway as well. So let's go ahead and kick off today's conversation by first discussing some of the benefits that are involved in purchasing collections, or at least the benefits that we have witnessed in the past. And the first of which is that when you're purchasing a collection, typically we're talking about raw ungraded cards. These are often binders that people have had sitting in their attics and their closets for many years, and they're looking to sell that as a whole rather than going through the tedious process of having those cards graded and then selling them off individually. Now, the nice thing about buying raw cards, especially in bulk, is that you can purchase a lot of these at a discount when compared to their graded card counterparts. So you're able to purchase a larger quantity of cards at a cheaper price. Now, this is great because flipping cards has proven to be a great strategy for creating margins on products, especially when those cards are graded. As many of you know, this is how I got my start in the Pokemon hobby back in 2016. I initially started to pick up binders of cards, collections of cards, have those graded, and then flip those cards on the secondary market. And flipping cards has proven to be a great strategy over the last few years, and the margins on these can be quite high when you compare the raw card to the premium that is garnered on the graded card. They can be very substantial, and this allows you to create more capital for either your collection or for your investment portfolio that you can then use to purchase on more high-end products. And that's the next big benefit here, is that purchasing collections allows you to build capital for more high-end products. So if you're getting those raw ungraded cards, you're having them graded, you're flipping those, you can then use the profits garnered off of that to purchase into more high-end product like sealed booster boxes, sealed elite trainer boxes, or vintage sealed products, theme decks, things of that nature. And usually the margins on those are even much greater than the graded cards themselves. So this is another great opportunity here for purchasing collections and then building the capital necessary to purchase into other products. And the other nice thing is that if you are low on financial capital, if you've got the collection there, you've got your cards graded, but you don't have a lot of financial capital ready and available, then you can also use this collection, these graded cards, or even the raw cards, to basically bargain in trades. So by having more quantity, very often other buyers out there are willing to conduct trades for the larger quantity of cards. So for instance, if you have 5 cards that are of equal value, or that the aggregate of those equals the value of one high-end graded card, very often you'll see trades happen where you'll trade the 5 cards for the 1 card, and that allows you to be able to get into more higher end cards, more higher end products, without actually having to fork over the financial capital, the actual cash, to be able to purchase into that. And having more product and a larger quantity of product allows you that opportunity. So now that we've discussed the benefits of buying collections, let's go ahead and talk about some of the drawbacks of this investing strategy, especially those that we've witnessed over this last year with the huge changes in the Pokemon market. And the first one here that comes to my mind is obviously the extensive turnaround times for grading companies, which ultimately is creating a lot of stagnant inventory. In the past, this was a great strategy because we could flip cards relatively quickly on the secondary market. In the past, turnaround times used to be about 30 days, so you didn't have cards sitting out there and not making you more money or creating more margin for yourself for a long period of time. And so you could cycle through those collections pretty quickly. And then if you had other cards that you wanted to sell off more periodically, you could do that. But you were also bringing in enough cash flow that you could start buying other products. And right now, that is just simply not the case, with turnaround times for most grading companies being 6 to 8 months on average. You're sitting with a lot of inventory now that you really just didn't have in the past. So that would definitely be the first drawback here. The next one is that the market on cards can change dramatically from the time that you submit your cards to, let's say, PSA, Beckett, CGC, and the time you receive your cards back. So the prices that you're seeing on the open market could be vastly different from the time that you submit to the time that you're actually receiving your cards back. And sometimes that can be to your benefit, but that can also be to your detriment, as card prices could very well fall from the time that you're actually submitting, so that when you're selling on the secondary market, the margins that you were expecting are simply not there anymore. And then the other thing to consider here is that over the next year, the number of graded cards that are going to come back onto the market is going to be tremendous. If you've listened to our buddy Z, once again, over on his channel, you'll know that there are so many cards still in backlog at PSA, and this is the same situation with companies like Beckett and CGC. And over the next year, all of those cards are going to be coming back into collectors and investors' hands and will make their way onto the open market. And what does this mean? That means that all of those cards that are coming out, the increase of supply will ultimately drive prices down if the demand for those does not gobble up what is on the open market. And so what you could very well see is that the prices for many graded cards out there, especially those that are not high-end cards, could plummet, and you could very well see big retraces on a lot of these products. And again, going back to my previous point here, the amount that you were expecting to get back at the time of your submission to what you're actually seeing on the open market could be vastly different. And if you, again, do not have the financial capital or the ability to sit on these products and hold them for the long term, you could be in dire straits in that you have inventory that you're not able to flip as quickly to create more income for yourself. So again, another thing to consider here. And then the last big drawback that we have to take into consideration is that the grading costs for all grading companies really across the board have been steadily increasing. Now, in the past, grading costs used to be relatively cheap, especially if you were going through a middleman service. Like for myself, I go through Graded Gem over in the UK. The grading costs were quite low, so you could grade a massive amount of cards and not really break the bank. Now, with grading costs increasing even more, that decreases the margin from the raw card to the premium on the overall graded card pretty dramatically. And as that continues, you may see less and less people wanting to go down this route, because ultimately more cards coming back onto the market drives the price down, the overall cost of grading drives your margin down, and it could be a lot less enticing to actually garner collections to then flip, because overall the amount that you're actually making in the end could be quite less. Now, with all that being said, we've discussed the benefits as well as the drawbacks of investing in Pokemon card collections, especially in 2021. What I want to do now is provide you guys with my opinion on the opportunities that I think still exist with purchasing into collections. I still think that it is a viable strategy in your investment approach, but we have to approach it a little bit differently than we have in the past. And the first opportunity that I see here is as that inundation of cards come back onto the market and as they come back into people's hands, I expect to see a lot more people actually selling complete collections of graded cards, perhaps a complete base set, complete jungle set, fossil, what have you, rather than them actually selling them off individually like they did in the past. As those prices fall, as the supply of those cards increases, I expect to see a lot more people selling master sets. Now, why is this an opportunity? Well, you essentially then can cut out the middle process that we had before. Now, in the past, you were purchasing a complete collection of raw or ungraded cards, then going out, paying for the grading service, getting those cards back, and then flipping them on the market. Now you're essentially cutting out that whole middle section and you're actually purchasing the collection of graded cards themselves, and then either waiting a period of time to flip them or going through and again maybe picking out the individual cards that you want to sit on and the cards that you think are actually doing well on the secondary market. So this very well could present an opportunity to many people out there where you can totally cut out that middle section of grading the cards. You already have them graded and in your hands, and you have some options here as to what you want to do with them. The other big opportunity that I see here, we were discussing before how the grading costs have really gone up across the board for all companies, all grading companies out there. What we also have seen, though, is a lot more companies introducing artificial intelligence and computer-based grading into their overall approach. Now, as you guys know, technology has exponential growth. And with this, we can ultimately cut costs. Companies can cut costs on the grading process if they start to go even more to an AI or computer-based grading process. That eliminates your overall overhead, and that also increases your overall economies of scale. So over time, what we may actually see is that grading costs consistently go down as more and more companies start to introduce AI into their overall grading approach. So those costs that we were discussing before that were ultimately eating away at the margins that could be garnered of having a card graded, that may not always be the case, and this could actually very well be a great opportunity for continuing to buy raw or ungraded cards and then have them graded and flip those in the future. And then the last one here that we really haven't discussed at all today, it's really been focused on actual individual cards. Buying collections does not necessarily mean you have to stick to individual cards. You can also still buy collections of sealed products. And I think sealed products are still a fantastic option. I think this is really going to be the way of the future. More and more people buying into sealed products. They're obviously going to come at a much higher premium as we move through the years. However, I do think that buying those collections now, those will really hold a strong value as we move into the future, because more and more of those products are continuing to be opened each and every day, whether it's on social media, whether it's on YouTube or any other platform out there, or just privately. More and more of sealed products are being opened by the average collector, and so the supply of those are going to continue to go down. So in my opinion, if you do see sealed product collections out there, those would be the ones that I would definitely still be looking at, that I think present a wonderful opportunity. So that is going to do it for today's discussion on whether you should still invest in Pokemon card collections. Let me know what you guys thought of today's topic down in the comments below. Let me know if you guys think that it is still a viable investment approach or if it may be outdated. So now that we've covered that, guys, let's go ahead and jump into our winner from last week's giveaway for the 10,000 subscriber giveaway. And the winner is right down below. So a big congrats to that individual. Make sure that you reach out to me on my email, pokenav27@gmail.com, and I will be sure to get all of those products out to you. Again, a big thank you to my good buddy Collecting with Jules for providing the products for that giveaway. Thank you again, Jules, for donating that to the Nav Nation. And for our next giveaway, I want to give a big shout out to TCG Stadium for donating this particular product to the Nav Nation for you guys to potentially win. If you haven't done so already, be sure that you check out TCG Stadium over on Instagram, and also go ahead and check out their website. That's tcg-stadium.com. They have an array of wonderful products there at very, very low prices, and they went ahead and threw this in for you guys here, a full Battle Styles booster box that you can potentially win. And in order to get in on this giveaway, just as last time, down in the comments below, go ahead and comment your favorite Pokemon YouTuber. Let me know who your favorite PokeTuber is down in the comments, and that will get you entered into the next giveaway. So be on the lookout for that, guys. I will announce that in next week's video. And other than that, I will see you all next time. My name is PokeNav. I'm here to help you navigate the world of Pokemon one video at a time, and I will see you all in the next video.